The Boston Bruins take game one against the Flyers in Philly, a 4-3 overtime, of course, win. That was fun. Mariah, Janos, and Evan Marinofsky here. Evan, at this point, Bruins wins, overtime, and comebacks, all synonymous with each other. They've proven that no deficit is too large for them to come back, but it is kind of frustrating that they keep needing to come back, isn't it?
It's funny. This team has a script. They dominate the first period. Maybe they score, but they probably don't. Then they fall behind in the second. And then in the last 10 minutes of the third, they're like, hey, let's try winning this game. It is incredible that this team, 3 straight games, continues to play like this. It's the same script. But it's encouraging. That's a very encouraging sign, obviously, as people know. When your team can come back from a deficit like that, especially on the road, and there's no fans, like this could have easily been a loss. And people would have said, well, they're still good. The record's still good, whatever. And instead they came back. The power play carried them on Wednesday night. In previous games, it was the secondary scoring. Like against the Capitals, it was Brandon Carlo and different guys scoring goals. Tonight it was Pastrnak and Patrice Bergeron in that first line. So to me, again, this is very encouraging to see a team be able to come back like this, especially against the Capitals and the Flyers. This is not the Sabres. It's not the Devils. These are teams you are going to have to get through in the playoffs. Now, again, granted, it's early in the season. These teams are very subject to change. But this is a very encouraging sign from them that they're able to come back like this.
Yeah, it certainly is. And that first 20 minutes of play was nice. I really liked what I saw there. And after that first period, you're thinking, oh, this game is over. The Bruins have this one. And I mean, it's Philly, so obviously don't underestimate them. So it was nice to see that comeback. But in that third period, even the second was like, as you said, a little like meh, whatever. The third, you felt that shift in momentum towards the Flyers until Pasta decided that late surge right there. What about this Bruins defense, if anything? What concerned you?
Well, Zboril concerned me. That the Flyers' second goal, I believe in the third period, or the second goal of the game for them, was all Zboril. He lost the puck on just coming back, trying to retrieve it. Then he left Voracek wide open in front of the net. That was on him. The second one, or the Flyers' third goal of the game, McAvoy pinches at a bad time, loses a puck battle to James Van Riemsdyk, and Zboril can't defend the pass across over. Zboril did concern me late in that game. McAvoy also was not at the top of his game in those crunch time moments. I still thought he looked fairly good throughout the game. Doesn't change how I think of him, but I do think that those that play on that final goal for Philly was tough. And that also goes to show, like, when that happened, it's like, oh, they're dead. Like that's it. Like the Bruins are done. But obviously they came back. But Zboril did scare me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is an issue with McAvoy. I don't think that people are going to be calling for him to be taken off the first line or the first pairing or anything. I think he'll be fine. But yes, concerning for Zboril. Also for Zboril in general, Grzelcyk, because the Bruins are going to miss these 2 games against Buffalo, they have time off.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of more time for Grzelcyk to return and recover and come back. Right now, Clifton's looked fine. Clifton's looked pretty good. And I would not be surprised to see Zboril taken out for Grzelcyk, considering that everyone's doing well. No, there hasn't been a D-man up until tonight that I've looked at and said, well, they need to be out of the lineup. Lozon's look great. McAvoy's obviously, McAvoy, Carlo, Miller in there. But then Lozon, Zboril, and Clifton, up until tonight, were all looking really good. And now kind of Zboril has his iffy night. That could be all it takes to be taken out of the lineup for Matt Grzelcyk, because obviously Grzelcyk's going to come right back in when he's healthy. So I don't see the reason to take out Clifton. I think he's been fine. Zboril gave me a reason to want to take him out tonight. But again, it's close. It's close. It's not like Zboril's been playing bad. It's just those plays, that can't happen, especially late in games. So I guess he's the closest to coming out.
Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, obviously, NBC referred to the top line as the perfection line, and we saw that. And
always happens.
Always happens, and it's always been that way. I mean, what do you expect, really? And I mean, you got that top line, and they really seem to take control. You just talked about the defensive struggles and the guys that concern you there. But how would you rate everyone else's play tonight? Besides Pasta, besides Bergeron, besides Marchand, that those second, third, fourth lines, how would you rate them tonight?
Well, so the issue is, I thought the fourth line was good. I thought they were, they did their job. They were good on the forecheck. Anton Bleed, he was a hard hitter. You're not going to score any goals, but he had a big block late. And I think that fourth line sort of did its job. The Coyle line I thought was great. I thought, Frederick Coyle and Wagner on that third line was tremendous. There was one clip I gift, and I was going to tweet it, but I ended up not tweeting it. I just kept it in my back pocket, where they were just really hard on the forecheck, had some good chances in one of their shifts. So I thought they were good. Krejci right now to me is the tough one. Obviously been great on the power play, but 5-on-5, Richie Krejci and whoever has really done nothing. Tonight it was Smith. It's been Smith a little bit lately. They've not done much. So that's the next thing. It's what combination is going to work. I like Richie with Krejci. I hate Richie in transition. There's no reason to pass to him as you're entering the zone. Like, there's just none. But to me, you have to find who's going to work with Krejci. I think Smith does work, but the scoring has got to be there, and it's not. So that's a little bit of an issue right now. No one knows when Kasha is going to return. DeBrusk could return soon, but even when he was there, he wasn't producing. So to me, again, it's that second line. It's like, when is that going to click? So to me, that's concerning, because the 5-on-5 offense really hasn't been there. Maybe when Studnicka returns, they get something going. But again, Richie, Krejci, Studnicka, when they were together, were not good 5-on-5. So that's a dilemma. You have the depth. You have the depth at the wings. The issue is, what's the right combination to put with Krejci? And they just haven't been able to find that yet. So to me, overall, good night. But again, the Krejci line really has to start getting going.
Mm-hmm. Now, we started off with this topic, them getting in the hole and digging their way out at the last possible second. How do they avoid this going forward? Like, what's going on here going forward? How do they keep this from recurring every single game? As encouraging as it is that they can come back from these deficits, it's definitely something down the stretch that maybe you want to avoid a little bit more.
You don't want this every game? Are you kidding me?
No, as much as I would love that, my heart can't take it. It's good TV, but like, come on, man.
Yeah, I feel bad for all the Bruins fans across New England and the country who have to put up with this every night. No, what has to happen is better second periods. And, again, you can't have what happened with Zaboral on the second goal and McAvoy on the third goal. Like, that, you can't have that. Another thing is just finishing chances, getting to the high danger areas. I know it sounds so easy to say, and I always say it, but you can get a lot of shots. You can have all the shots in the world, but against a guy like Carter Hart, who has had an iffy year. It's funny. I was looking at the Flyers tweet of the final score, and there was someone who, some people calling for Carter Hart to be traded. Come on, he's pretty good.
My God.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, in Boston, it's trade Rask, so I guess it's just always trade the goalie. Just trade the freaking goalie.
That's always the problem.
It's always the issue. Fixes everything. But no, I again, you have to get to those high danger areas. The first line's always going to find chances. Again, in their 3 games back together, they currently, again, this is all situations. They lead 93-23 in chances when going against the opponent. That's also in all situations, so that's also like including the power play, which accounts for like 40 of those chances. But even then, like, that's not your issue. You have, again, it's the same issues every year, but Coyle has to start actually producing points. Krejci and his line have to get production. The fourth line, you're going to get what you're going to get out of them. So again, you need that secondary scoring in those moments, because the first line is going to be there. It's those next 2 lines that you need the scoring from. So to avoid those, to avoid a comeback every night, you need the secondary scoring, which they got in Washington.
Yes.
But obviously in tonight's game, they did not get. So yes, that is the simplest thing, and to fix the defensive issues, as I said.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully, maybe game two will be a little different. Maybe it will resemble game 2 here in Boston, which was a clobbering.
Yes.
So
killed them.
we'll see. We got a day off, and then we will resume all of this talk. For all of our Bruins coverage, head to clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel over at Bruins Rinkside.